News, new revelation about Ivan Toney revives Arsenal's hopes, while Raheem Sterling opens up about Arsenal and Mikel Arteta, and Edu Gaspar has given a major boost to Eddie Nketiah's potential exit, with a specific plan for the striker beginning to take shape. Stay with me until the end of the video to check out the latest Arsenal news straight from the Emirates Stadium. But before that, if you're as passionate about Arsenal as we are, don't waste any time and subscribe to our channel right now to stay updated on everything happening with the greatest team in the Premier League. And without further ado, let's dive into today's top news. Arsenal still hasn't brought in a new attacker, and with just 10 days left in the transfer window, the clock's ticking. Even though the club's been linked to a bunch of forwards over the past year, nothing has materialized yet. One name that kept popping up was Brentford's Ivan Toney. Many fans and pundits thought the England international could be the key player Arsenal needs to push for the title. But here's the catch. Rumors have it that Mikel Arteta wasn't too keen on Toney's attitude. Now, it looks like Toney might be heading to Saudi Arabia since Arsenal never made a move for him. At 28, Toney had a solid first season in the Premier League, banging in 20 goals and showing some flashes of brilliance for England during Euro 2024. Even though an Arsenal transfer seems unlikely now, his agent is still convinced he'd be a great fit under Arteta. Speaking to TalkSport, former Premier League manager Alan Pardew revealed that Toney's agent wanted the striker to join Arsenal. Let me tell you, I know Ivan Toney's agent personally, and I think he would like the boy to go to Arsenal, Pardew stated. There you go, there's a bit of insight. I know that he thought that might be a good fit for the boy. Why Arsenal did not push for Ivan Toney deal. Despite all the buzz and Toney himself expressing his admiration for Arsenal, a bid for the striker never came through, and at this point it seems pretty unlikely. Some fans are still holding out hope that Arsenal might make a move for Toney, especially those who want to see another striker come in, but it's clear that Toney doesn't quite fit into what Arteta is looking for. For starters, Toney is a bit older than the type of players Arteta usually targets. Plus, with Kai Havertz doing a great job up front, Toney would probably have to accept a backup role, which might not sit well with him. Arsenal might be better off focusing on signing a winger instead of a center forward right now. If Toney did join, he'd likely just be a short-term rotational player rather than a key figure in the squad. Given Toney's attitude at Brentford, it's possible that Arteta saw this as a potential issue and decided to pass on him. Now it looks like Toney could be leaving the Premier League altogether. Raheem Sterling at Arsenal? Mikel Arteta has had his eye on Raheem Sterling for quite some time now. The Arsenal boss has even tried to bring the Chelsea attacker to the Emirates in the past. Arteta and Sterling go way back to their days together at Manchester City, where Arteta was Pep Guardiola's assistant and the two worked closely. But since then, Sterling made the move to Stamford Bridge. Unfortunately, his time in West London hasn't been the happiest, and now it seems like he might be on the move again. Arsenal is aware that Sterling is up for grabs this summer, especially since the England international has been told to find a new club. In fact, he didn't even make it into Chelsea's matchday squad this weekend, which is a clear sign that things aren't working out. This situation could be the perfect opportunity for Arteta to finally bring Sterling to Arsenal. With the transfer window still open, the Gunners might make a move for him. Arteta likely believes he can help Sterling rediscover the form that made him so dangerous at Manchester City. The connection between Raheem Sterling and Mikel Arteta. It seems like Sterling is pretty keen on the idea of reuniting with Arteta. He's had nothing but good things to say about the former midfielder in the past. Back in 2020, when Sterling was still at Manchester City and Arteta was just getting started at Arsenal, the winger openly talked about the positive impact Arteta was having in North London. As quoted by Goal, Sterling said he's someone who had a lot of influence here. The manager trusted him, and he played a big role with the players and the team. It's clear that Sterling holds Arteta in high regard, which could make a potential move to Arsenal all the more appealing for him. So I knew once he went into Arsenal that it would be a great opportunity for him, but also he would definitely implement what he wanted to bring in. And he's a person that will put his foot down and not let things slide, as you can see with the boys at Arsenal. They know if they don't run, they are most likely not going to play. You can see the change that he's brought in there. You can see the energy. You can see how much he's put into them with their off-ball work. We all knew before Mikel got in how much good football they could play, how technically good they were, but probably off the field, they weren't as aggressive as they are with Mikel. They run their socks off now. You can see why they benefited with some good results recently. Sterling clearly has a lot of respect for Arteta and his coaching style, and it's obvious that Arteta knows how to get the best out of him. If Sterling does make his way to North London this summer, it would be a great boost for Arsenal. Bringing Sterling in would add some valuable experience to the Arsenal squad and provide much needed depth in the wide areas. He could give solid cover for both Bukayo Saka and Gabriel Martinelli, helping to keep the squad fresh and competitive throughout the season. Edu Gaspar's plan for Eddie Nketiah. Arsenal striker Eddie Nketiah seems to be on his way out, with fresh interest from Premier League club Nottingham Forest coming into play. Forest had an initial bid for Nketiah turned down, but negotiations are still in progress. Arsenal is open to selling him, provided the right offer comes in. Arsenal previously rejected bids from French side Marseille because they were too low. However, Forest's opening offer of around £25 million, including add-ons, is much closer to what Arsenal is asking for. While some criticized Edu Gaspar for letting the Marseille deal fall through, if Nketiah moves to Forest for a better price, it could actually turn out to be a smart move. One challenge Arsenal faces is that Forest also has its eyes on Feyenoord striker Santiago Gimenez and will only sign one of the two. However, Forest has recently received a boost in their pursuit of either striker. Nottingham Forest target Santiago Gimenez wants to stay at Feyenoord. If Forest do sign Gimenez, they will not sign Nketiah, and both players could be available for a similar price. However, it has now been reported by Dutch outlet 6 that Gimenez wants to remain at Feyenoord for another season, meaning that a move to Nuno Espirito Santo's team is now unlikely. This in theory would make Nketiah the more likely option for Forest, with the striker open to a move away from Arsenal in search of first-team football. Edu has therefore been handed a boost, as negotiations over a transfer for Nketiah could now be back in Arsenal's favor if Forest are limited in their alternative options. Why Eddie Nketiah's sale is a positive move for Arsenal. Eddie Nketiah is definitely not a bad player. He stepped up for Arsenal when needed and is well regarded by Mikel Arteta. Plus, he's one of the standout graduates from the Hale End Academy. But lately, Nketiah has slipped down the pecking order. Right now, he's behind Kai Havertz, Gabriel Jesus, and Leandro Trossard in the center forward position. There's still plenty of interest in Nketiah, and his value remains high due to his age and potential. However, if he stays at Arsenal and spends most of the season on the bench, that value is likely to decrease. Arsenal really need to consider selling Nketiah this summer if they're not going to use him more often. A significant fee from his sale would not only boost their finances, but also help with sustainability rules. Wolves considering offering Daniel Bentley to Arsenal as part of Aaron Ramsdale deal. Arsenal have sorted out personal terms with Joan Garcia and are ready to finalize the deal if Ramsdale moves on this week or next. If Wolves end up including the highly rated Bentley in a permanent deal for Ramsdale, it might work out well for everyone involved. Inaki Kana, Arsenal's goalkeeping coach, seems to have a strong say in these decisions at the moment. If things go as planned, Arsenal would likely want David Raya as their first choice keeper, Garcia as the backup, and Bentley as third in line. The only sticking point could be Arsenal's asking price for Ramsdale. Reports previously suggested he could cost up to £50 million, but that figure might now be lower, possibly closer to what Arsenal originally paid for him from Sheffield United. Wolves' ability to meet Arsenal's asking price, especially if it involves a combination of cash and Bentley, will be crucial in determining how this all unfolds. Well folks, those were the main news for today. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated on everything happening with our beloved team, you know what to do. Subscribe to the channel now and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any updates. Thanks for joining us, and until the next video.